What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Just came back from seeing the monkey. First off, before I get into let me shout out Oz Perkins. He also did Long Legs. He written and directed this movie, but also did Long Legs last year, which is another movie that I recommend seeing. I definitely enjoyed that one. Shout out to Nicolas Cage for that performance as well. But in creating that movie, he also created this Stephen King short story, The Monkey. And the movie's pretty self-explanatory. A demon-possessed toy monkey, once provoked, has the ability to kill anybody it pleases. You can't ask it to kill anybody. You can't predict who is going to kill. Once it's provoked, a random death happens. And I must say, I gotta say this right now. Yes, it's a gore fest. If you've seen the trailer, yes, expect a gore fest. Now, I will say it's not as bad as Terrifier. When I saw the trailer, I thought they was gonna go crazy with the grisly images, the graphics, gore, and all that. As much as it is a gore fest, it is nowhere near the level of Terrifier. So even if you have a weak well, I guess it just depends on how weak your stomach is. But like, I know some people left the theater of Terrifier because you see all the little details. The monkey is not that. It's not like that, where you see every little detailed body parts. But it has a nice amount of gore in it. I'm just letting y'all know now from the get-go. But yes, like I just said, it is exactly like the trailer show. And I will say it's a shock fest. There's some moments I'm like, but I do want to give credit to somebody. And it's the main actor. Let me find his name here. Theo James. I don't want to get too much into his performance because it could spoil the movie, but I will say this. He did a heck of a job. His performance. Well, I was about to say what he was doing, and I don't want to spoil it, but his performance, once you see the movie, which, by the way, definitely go see it. In my opinion, it's a must-see. It's rated R, so I'm talking about for adults. Personally, I'll go see that movie again. It was very entertaining. The plot, which I like talking about, the directing, camera work, the feel, like this really feels like Long Legs, just a different story. That's why I also wanted to give credit to Oz Perkins, who made Long Legs, because his atmosphere is gripping in a quiet way. If you understand what I'm saying, like, it's not a lot of music, but he can make let me give you an example. He can make a terrifying. And it's the way he directs it and has the certain kind of music selections. Very limited because, like I said, it's not a lot of music in this. But the selections he make on top of all that, the atmosphere that Oz brings, really makes it creepy. And I got to give credit. He does it with little to no jump scares. This is not that kind of movie. Just like Long Legs. Long Legs wasn't just a horror movie with jump scares left and right. No. It was the atmosphere that he brought that creeped you out. And you gotta give a shout out to that. He did a really good job in it. But yes, Theo, the main actor for this movie, did a heck of a job. I want to break down why, but it's gonna spoil it's gonna spoil the surprise. Because this plot is also very nice. It's nothing out of this world, but it's enjoyable. Like, I enjoyed the atmosphere that this movie brought, because it also had humor, in which I wouldn't say I was surprised, because if you look at the trailer, they show a little humor, but I didn't think it would go to this extent. It wasn't overused. It was used just right, especially like the ending. The third act of this movie had some funny humor. Everybody in the theater was laughing, which was cool. Which, by the way, it was cool to see a lot of people in the theater seeing this, because I hope this movie does get support. Shout out to Oz Perkins. He knows how to make good, gripping, but also fun movies. It is so weird when you see like the atmosphere it brings is considered fun, but you got to see it to know what I'm talking about. So it's not fun to where you're just standing up like this. I'm talking about you're entertained. You're watching to see what's about to happen next. And on top of it, with the humor, you chuckle a little bit. I chuckled a couple times. The theater was chuckling a nice amount of time. But yes, I don't want to make this review too long. Definitely a must-see. It is a gore fest. I will see it again. But I got to say this. going back to the atmosphere and the way this movie was made. This movie felt like a psychotic fairy tale, a dark fairy tale. What I mean by that is Oz Perkins was so good at how he put the narration on top of it. It felt like the narrator was telling, like, was reading a book to us as we're watching the movie. It's, man, I don't want to say too much without spoiling, but let me just put it that way. It was like a storybook movie, but crazy. A crazy storybook movie. Like I said, it ain't for kids. It's dark and twisted, but the humor in it, on top of how the narration went, made it feel like we was hearing a fairy tale or something, a horror or a gore fest fairy tale. The way Oz Perkins did that was very good, very good. If I had to, and I'm gonna start doing this. I never really did this, was rate movies. I just say it's worth seeing. Which, by the way, please go see it in theaters. Please go see it. I hope this movie does well. But if I had to rate this movie, I'll say I'll say 8 out of 10. The kills were right, were good. It was more than what the trailer showed. Because that was the one thing I was hoping. I was like, hopefully it's not one of those movies where they show you everything and then you go to it and you're like, not even just the kills, but the storyline and everything. It wasn't like that. The storyline was bigger than the trailer showed. The kills were bigger than it was. And the ending was surprising. So, but yeah, I'll have to say 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. Oh, the runtime, very well done. How long was it? Because it didn't feel too long, didn't feel too short. An hour and 40 minutes. Wow. Yeah. It didn't feel too long, too short. So yeah, it's a good 8 out of 10. Definitely a must see. And if you ask me, if I had someone else to go to a theater with and they was like, hey, you want to go see it again? I'll go with them. Tonight I went with my wife, and if it was anybody else I knew that was like, hey, I want to go see it, you want to come with me? I would go. It was worth seeing it a second time, even with as much as these movies are. But anyway, just wanted to make a review of it. Definitely go see Long Legs. The Monkey. Yeah, it definitely had a Final Destination meets Annabelle feel, but its own flavor when it comes to the plot. It didn't feel like it was a rerun. Like, oh, I've seen this before. Oh my goodness, been there, done that. No, it had influences of Final Destination Annabelle, but its own creative take. And I respect that. I like that. But anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. Shout out to Oz. And also shout out to, let me say his name again. I look forward to seeing what other work he has. But Theo James, because he did a heck of a job here. And it was a funny cameo in this movie in the beginning. I was like, it was someone from Lord of the Rings. I'm not going to spoil it, but he plays in Lord of the Rings. And that was cool. You saw him for like 5 minutes, but that was a cool thing. But anyway, thank y'all so much for tuning in. I'll see y'all later.